Giving it all we got, giving it all we can, giving it all we got. Oh, climbing up to the top of the world, no fear, we're gonna make it. Everything we want is ours. Whoa.
Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Craig here, bright and early on the Thai farm, where it's probably just about 7 o'clock, and I'm gonna try and tackle my door issue on my Dmax. Hope I don't bite off more than I can chew, but it's got to be done, man. First thing I got to do over there is I got to move them cars, man. I'm gonna take my wife's car, get it out of there, put my truck in the middle, so I have plenty of room to do my job. Gotta take the door panel off, check out the motor, and yeah, and if it starts raining, which it might for sure. Looking over there, I don't know, you see that? That looks like it's all gray over there. You got sunshine and a gray and gray. And if it starts raining, well, better I be under the cover. But I need all the space under there. It's gonna be a nightmare, man. Hopefully I have all the tools. I think I do. I got a complete ratchet set with extensions. Anyway, let me get to it. We'll get back at you. Yeah, and that's one of them things about being old. You can't see crap. Gotta use one of these headlamps, man. I mean, it's dark in here. I'm in the shade. But still, if I was 40 years younger, man, I could see like a cat. I went and grabbed a few tools. Got my power drill, line tester, some various size Phillips screwdrivers, and my ratchet. Hopefully that's enough. What I should have bought was one of those, you know, like the kit that has all those tabs, the snap tabs, because every time you take your door panel off or some panel off, those things break. And you got to find another one, put it back. I saw one box on Lazada, it's got like every size. That'd be pretty good. This is my third cup of coffee, so I guess I'm gonna be about done. Oh Lord, Lord. I don't even see any, there isn't even any clips showing here. I think you know, you got one screw in here. Oh yeah, you got that one in there. So I'll probably have to pop that off, unscrew that, unscrew this, then we'll take that off, unplug it. And then maybe it just kind of pops off. We'll see. It's that easy. It's got this. This is the speaker assembly, I guess. TWWF. Anyway, that's where the woofer or something plugged into. I've never seen one like that. There's a speaker. Anyway, yeah, I can tell this factory, it's never been taken off. All this sticky back paper. Dude, I gotta pull this stuff off. This is thick, man. Oh my God. I better get gloves. Man, this is some thick ass magic door sealer. I can see there's already some cuts in it. Like, you know, maybe they had to cut that, put it in place or something. I don't know. I don't even think it has been opened. I think maybe they cut this line for, you know, for people like me. They're gonna say, dude, you gotta cut on this line if you want to get access to this part, because again, it's like seriously stuck, seriously thick. I mean, just look at that, man. That's like a wicked piece of leather or something. And chances are I'm gonna have to butcher it and pull and tear. And what does that mean? That means it ain't gonna go back where it should. I'm not gonna be able to just, you know, pop off the inner panel with screws or something. This is a heavy adhesive deal, which is probably super protected. I mean, you know, it provides great protection, which I'm going to compromise now. I don't know what this logo is. It says something like status, mobile, fidelity. Fidelity, doesn't that sound? Well, maybe that's the coating, right? It's super thick so you don't hear noise and stuff. Anyway, I'm just trying to delay. I got my fan because before it gets too uncomfortable here. I mean, it's only 7:30, but I can tell we got humidity, you know. It's been the rain, it's rainy season. It'll probably rain today or something. But, you know, let's get her done, man. Let's get her done. Oh, by the way, I'm using, I don't know if you can tell, but in yesterday's video, I was walking around, and when I was watching the video this morning, I could hear that because my GoPro, the arm for the camera, I had one of those handles where it has extension, and I'm oftentimes just yanking it up, turning it, and going, "What's up? What's up?" And over time, you know, obviously it's been a while, a year or more since I got that one. It's loose, so it jiggles a little bit. I can't hear it here, but the camera picks it up. So I switched back to my orange bottom GoPro OEM GoPro handle. It doesn't extend or anything, but it's pretty good. I can stick it in here and pinch it. Yeah. Yep. Had to tear it up. Open this part up. I just kind of left some of it where I could, but basically it broke up in pieces. I had to see what's going on. I think I'm gonna have to take these screws off. Found these 3 hex head nuts, and I think that's gonna be the bracket for the window assembly, or otherwise the motor assembly, which I believe this plug right here is plugged into that. There we go. Well, I got the assembly starts to come down, the window's starting to fall down. But I can see this is the motor right here. I'm gonna let this go down. I'm gonna see if I can take the cap off this motor without having to pull the whole system out. I was able to pull that out this way a little bit. Hopefully that's not all bent up. I didn't bend it. I felt like it was bending. It didn't really feel like it was bending, but I was able to get those screws off, and then I Magnets are in good shape. So this comes out, the motor will come out by turning it to the right, which normally it's righty-tighty, but this one you can pull this out. And I can see that this part is the burn part, or otherwise the contact part. We're in here, and it looks like those contact points might be kind of worn down. That's probably why you need a new motor. However, what I'm going to try is I'm going to get some sandpaper from the shop. I'm going to very meticulously sandpaper that. I'm going to sandpaper those contact points. I'm also going to sandpaper this part here, clean it all up, put it back in, put the cap on, and from that point I should be able to plug it in all and see if it works. And if it works, I'll put it back together. If not, shit. So yeah, you can see what I did right there. I just lightly sanded what appears to be the two contact points on either side of where the spindle inserts. And maybe that was just it. Maybe that they were worn down, or maybe they were far enough away or whatever. And that they didn't, you know, make enough contact to send that you know, electromagnetic discombobulator around in circles to make the window go up and down. So hopefully that'll work. If it works, then that's your fix, ladies and gentlemen, because I did watch a few videos, of course, about this, but all the videos are really replacing the motor. And I don't want to replace it if I don't have to. And they're not totally worn down to nothing or anything like that. It's not burnt. Spindle doesn't look like it's worn down to nothing. It just looks like maybe, because the truck's 10 years old, it had, you know, it eventually got far enough away where it couldn't make that contact. All right, man, let me put it back together. See if I work the magic. Well, a bit of a challenge to try and get this in, because this whole assembly's got to align, right? And in order to align it, I need to have the window all the way up. So I can slide the window up into place, but I have to be able to hold it there to manipulate this. And I'm by myself. And my wife's up there, but no, she ain't coming down here. So I don't know what I can do. I don't think I have any wedges. I don't want to bend something, pop the window. So I gotta try and figure out how to hold the window up so I can get it in place. Well, as luck would have it, I remembered all that thick, sticky stuff. So I wedged it gently in there, and then in here too, because it's really got to be, it's got to be wedged, but it should be wedged, you know, perfectly straight, like already snug all the way up, in order to maximize my ability to manipulate this. So well, I'm having a bit of another challenge, and that is when I put the assembly back up in here, these two bolts lined up, you know, perfectly, and these two are not, and it's I can't really move this thing. I think maybe it's just, I remember when I took it off, that one screw was like bound, so it was kind of like ping, which tells me that maybe the gear needs to move or something. So I thought maybe I'd plug it in, which I did. I plugged it in back here, and I plugged the switch in. And maybe if I move the switch a little bit, it'll move the gear. And it's auto though, but I think I can, if I remember, I can tap it. I don't have to let it go all the way up and down. I can just go beep, beep. But I'd hate that, have that window come down, bind it, and go push. Well, check it out. There. I was like, oh, the windows aren't working. So let me check the rear one, or the passenger one. Yep. Hey, I heard it move. Yeah. Looks straight. Maybe in the down position. Well, the good news is that worked, bitches. So I just sanded the contact points, spread them closer together, sanded the spindle a little bit too, the copper, and it looks like it's worked. So my only problem solved here is to get that assembly back over there. I might need to take these two bolts out and rework that. I don't think I bent it at all when I brought it out. I was pretty careful about that. I think it's just an alignment kind of issue going in, because remember I said when I took that one screw bolt off of there, as it backed out, it went bang, and the bolt itself bound to the right. So that told me that the whole system was bound in there. So I might need to just muscle it and get it in there. All right, let's see, man. Woo! Yeah, figured it out. So I tried, you know, I pinched that window up again, did everything all again, and I still couldn't do it, man. I got the two top holes, and I would put my screwdriver in the bottom hole and try and wedge that thing over, and it just wouldn't do it. And I'm like, so I hooked up the window again, and I lowered the window all the way down. By the way, I put more grease in here. This Super HT extreme pressure grease. This is the shit, man. There's everything you wanted to have in a nice production grease. I use it for my bush cutters and all that, all the spindle work, all the gear work. If you got anything, man, put it on it. Anyway, I brought the window down into the full down position, and I noticed I had these two bolts in there and I had them loose. And then I noticed that these two moved over into the open position, so I was able to put them all four of them in there. So that was the key. So I had the window in the up position. I mean, I didn't know. I suppose maybe if I would have started in the down position, maybe they all four would have lined up, but I couldn't. I don't think I could get my hand in there to manipulate that piece. So, you know, I had the window up, cinched in there, manipulated the top two bolts tight enough to where the motor stayed still, and lowered the window all the way, and then the bottom two bolts. Kabam! Now let's see if I can reasonably salvage this sticker fiasco. All right, man. Yee-hoo! More later. Alrighty. Yeah, buddy. Boom, beautiful. Yeah, open sesame. That's right, that's how you do it. I did not know how to do that, right, before, but I'm not stupid. I figured it out, man. And I saved myself a lot of time and trouble. I don't know what time it is right now. It's probably, you know, I think I did that in less than 2 hours. I envisioned it being like an all-dayer, because I think I forget what I had to do before. I had to took off my center console for something. Oh yeah, I took off that center console because I thought, you know, my gear was slipping out. I thought that was the problem, or the problem was down in there somewhere. But no, it wasn't. That's another thing I figured out. And all that was a little $5 piece of bushing or whatever that is just in your linkage underneath the bottom. You can get underneath the truck, you can see it right there. It's just a pin that goes in this little plastic ring, and the ring is worn out. And so because the ring is worn out, the pin doesn't, you know, when you put it in park, it still moves a little bit, you know. So I just replaced that, boom, and no problem. But initially, when my investigation, I had to take that whole thing apart. I was like, God dang it, you know. It took me all day trying to figure that out. And when I figured it out, I was like, Doy. So now if that wear and tear problem happens again on that bird bomb, then I'll just, you know, just get me one of them and throw it up in there, and I'm good to go. And if my windows have a problem, I'll know how to fix those too. But I wasn't able to put all that back. I did put as much back as I could. If I choose later to put a new sound system in here or something, I guess those guys will put all the new stuff in there. All right, man, more later. Yee-hoo. Well, that was done. So what else do I have going today? I guess I do need to sort out how I'm gonna adhere the metal tin up there and make sure it's actually straight. I mean, some of it's right now, it's like from that drone shot in yesterday's video, you can see it's a little bit canted. That's why I got to be on this side of it, look at it, and make sure it's straight. But today is also a day where I could go 90-day reporting for my visa. You know, you can go like 14 days before reporting or 7 days after reporting date. My date is the 15th, but that's a Saturday. So I could go, you know, later this week, or I could go right now. But one of the things we did take delivery on from Lazada. Actually, late last night, the guy came at night. I had to open the gate for him and stuff. Is the, oh, come on, man. The gel battery for the solar setup we're going to do. I thought it was gel battery. What does that say? Valve regulated lead acid battery instruction. Great. Well, oh God, this thing is super heavy, man. Little disclaimer, I didn't order it, my wife didn't. I just said, yeah, go ahead, whatever. Oh yeah, it's a gel valve regulated. So yeah, gel valve regulated rechargeable battery. Charging instructions. Application voltage regulation, initial current, floating use, cycle use less than 16 amps. Risk of explosion or burn. Do not short the battery. Do not disassemble or incinerate. Okay, it's 55 amp hours. So, there's a battery, man. Let's see what it can do. Alrighty, there you go. There's some view for you. Well, I connected my old rather crude panel board for my solar. I got my charge controller up here, little cheesy charge controller. I put a DC switch coming out from my solar panel, actually going into the solar panel, and then my battery going out with an AC switch, and I just clamped it to the battery, and then I clamped my charge controller to the battery. I'm going to go to global now, swap these out for actually terminal connections, maybe even get a different cable, we'll see. And then I just plugged in I plugged in a extension cord, and then I got my fan going, which is really just a fan, but I noticed that when the fan is off, you know, I'm showing my 12 volts for the battery from the 225 that's coming in, I guess. But when I turn it on, it drops down to 11.4. It shows all this stuff here. These are computers, little TV, lights, camera, fan. Those are some minor appliances that only probably take a few amps or a few volts. But if I plug something like my pump into it, that ain't gonna handle it, man. That ain't gonna handle it. So I'm gonna have to look at a better inverter. Even though it says 4,000 watt there, that I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to look at the manual on that. But you know, like I said, my battery's just a 12 volt, 55 amp hours. But I do see when I look up here that I got my solar, you know, it's charging the battery all right. As the battery's drained, I'm gonna leave this fan going. We'll see what's up with that. Right now, I'm gonna actually, before I go to global, or maybe after, no, I'm gonna go get my 90-day done. I'll check in. I'm gonna go in there and go, "What's up, boys?" Show them my passport. They'll look at it, bing, bada boom, bada boom, and then give it back to me and say, "Thanks for coming." Yeah. All right. Well, let's hope that doesn't blow up while I'm gone. Well, of course, I'm in the middle of all my wiring, and kaboom! Yeah. So what I did was, you know, I kind of checking stuff. I did buy more photovoltaic cable because I need to move my panel over to here. And actually, I forgot when I was at Global, I was going to buy the box. I'm going to buy a box, put it in a box, put the panel in the box, and extend those two cables that come directly from the solar panel. I got the extra pieces, so I'm going to extend those cables, you know, so it fits over here. Basically have the setup right here. It's out of the heat and out of the rain. Still be in a box. This plug right here, I brought it all the way across. Look at that rain, man. I had all them basket lights up in the trees. I climbed up in the tree, brought it down, and you know, basically brought that plug all the way to about here, and then had to splice it into the existing network for the cable, which actually went, or for the lights, which went back there to that switch. So I terminated the switch up at the top where that cable ends. I actually brought the lights that are in the front, like this this light right here, fish light we'll call it, And then the balcony lights, those were on a separate network connected to that house on a timer. So I disconnected it from the timer, the plug or whatever, cut the plug end off, and then just tapped it into that line that came for the tree. So basically, this fish light is the end of the line. It goes fish light, porch lights, tree lights, and then back here to this plug. And I already tested it, and they all light up, no problem. But the battery's fully charged. I don't even know if you can hear me. The sounds of the rain falling mainly on the plain. Yeah, we're getting some water now. Yeah, man. I go swimming out here right now, man. Feels hot, but there's a lot of thunder, lightning. There was some thunder and stuff when I was working with the power out here, so I was kind of like, Oh, wait a minute. In order to use the line for that, I had to cut out one of my homemade extension cords. I don't want to get wet. Of course, I have like 3 or 4 of them back there. I found out that, you know, instead of buying line that is, you know, buy a roll of 50 feet, 50 meters or whatever, all these big rolls, the only small rolls they have are small gauge. But I found that you can actually go to DIY, and if you can buy a 5-meter extension cord for like 169 baht, and then just cut the line. Now you got 5 meters of line. Way better, especially for all the small projects. In the beginning, you know, when we first were over here, I was buying big old rolls of wire. And I was having all this leftover. Anyway, but yeah, so the line works fine. What I was in the process of doing before Mother Nature interrupted was rehanging the lights. So I got to rehang the lights in the tree, and of course the tree is going to be wet climbing up in the tree, although I do have my Vans deck shoes on. Actually, these were blue. These were the color of this, but that Thailand sun, man. But anyway, yeah, so I just need to hang those lights and I'm good. Although my wife just let me know also that the sala over there, we've always had a light in there, but it's not on. It was underground when we first bought it and all that. We never really used it. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap into that line, and I'm gonna string a line over so there's a light under the sala. So now on the solar, well, actually I should say on the battery in which the solar charges, the fish light and the porch lights and the solid lights and the tree lights, and I'm actually even gonna tap in these 2 front porch lights right here. They'll all be back here, and they'll be on a timer too, because they'll be plugged in. And I mean, if I plug it in, obviously they'll be on, right? Because it's from the inverter. But I'll just put them on that timer from over there, and they'll come on at night, and they'll use the battery, and we'll see how long all those lights, which is 5, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8, 9, 10 lights. That ain't much. Oh, and I had the fan going at the same time too. So I had 10 lights going and the fan. I got a 450 watt. Oh man, it's kind of getting wet over there. Anyway, one last thing I have to worry about. Thankfully, I already
secured all the wiring for waterproof. So wait a minute here. Whoa. So all that stuff's all right in the rain. When I first hung those tree lights, I used a bamboo pole, you know, like the bamboo pole you can, with the split in it, you can go up there and break a mango off or whatever that, or in this case a tamarind, but I put a hook in there with the light, and I would just reach up there and hook it somewhere, so I didn't have to climb up in a tree. Which I actually, now that I said that, I might do that again, because the tree gonna be wet for a while, and I ain't climbing no wet tree. Boom. But I like the rain. Like this. Very cool. I could turn the fan on. Turn my music on my boom box. That was like 1,500 baht. 45 bucks or whatever on Lazada. Bluetooth, karaoke, all that stuff. Alright, man, well, that's probably gonna be it for Life on the Farm today. It got rained out, but I got a little bit done. I'm glad I got the door fixed. I did go get my 90-day, just walked in. I didn't have my they don't use the TM7 or 8 or whatever. It's like a 10 or something now. So I just filled out that half a form real quick, gave it to the guy, boom, 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 gave it right back. Probably within 2 minutes. Actually, in the time it took, he had a scan for line, and the time it took me to take my phone out, after I gave it to him, take my phone out, scan the line app for immigration, bring it up, look at it, he gave me back my passport. So I was out of there. Then we went and ate lunch at a pretty cool Quitio place, popular for government, and came back here, and I got busy with the electric. Yeah, buddy, my wife just fed all the fish, so that's good too. They were able to eat before the rain pounded that out. All right, man, well, hey, let's listen to the rain for a minute. Hey! Alrighty then. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. And I'll get back at you with more electrical stuff.